There's more to life than fucked up beginnings. 1001 was written and directed by A.V. Rockwell, who's done shorts as well as a television show called Boomerang, not to be confused with the children's television show called Boomerang. And if you get that reference, one, I love you guys, and two, that theme is now forever stuck in your head. You're welcome for that. This stars Teyana Taylor as Inez, a young African-American woman who gets out of jail. She has dreams of basically getting her life back together. She has skills as far as being a hairdresser. She's very, very driven, and also she wants to reconnect with her son Terry, and he's in foster care. She finds a way to basically just make sure that they are going to be able to live their lives in a forever changing New York City, because the mayors, from Mayor Giuliani to Mayor Bloomberg, are trying to clean up New York City and trying to make it, better and everything and cleaner and more pure and push people out of communities, not actually help them, just push them out and raise the rent and basically make it hard for various working class, hard-working people to basically live in anything other than squalor. AKA, the African American areas are basically being pushed out and just uprooted, and people are having to struggle just to get the basic necessities of everyday life. And Inez and Terry, over a number of years, and we get various actors that play Terry from 6 years old, 13 to 17, and each one gets an equal amount of screen time. This tells the story of how much of a struggle it is for a mother to basically get her life back together, help her son, and her son isn't exactly wanting the change. I mean, he does love his mother, but obviously there are struggles, as there would be for anybody that is trying to reconnect with family, and it is a stark, bleak, yet hauntingly accurate portrayal of just how tough it is to be African American, especially during this time period, because it takes place from 1994 to 2005. So much so for the accuracy that they have beepers at one point. That's how prehistoric I am, because I remember beepers, because I'm 42 years old. And from there, we have an incredibly well-written, character-driven drama that is right up there with Waves. And anybody that's been watching this channel for a while, you know that I've praised Waves in the past. It was my favorite movie of 2019. A great, tremendous offering from A24. And this is right up there. This is easily one of my favorite films of the year. This was phenomenal. Teyana Taylor, who was in the recent remake of White Men Can't Jump, is able to just showcase a massive range of emotions and facial expressions, and this is great. She's great. If she doesn't get at least a Golden Globe nomination for her performance here, it's a fucking crime. I mean, there's been some great performances this year so far in films I have, and I assume in some films I have yet to see that were just released on the film festival circuit. There are some I'm looking forward to, but this, I didn't get a chance to check it out in theaters. It is currently on Peacock, and this movie isn't just good, it's fucking great. Granted, given the subject matter and given the fact that it's so goddamn bleak at times and just very, very emotional, because you really care about the characters. It doesn't beat you over the head with the fact that, there's race relations and all these struggles and everything. It lets it happen organically. This feels like a world that is actually alive. It doesn't feel like a series of set pieces. It doesn't feel like it necessarily, pulls back. I mean, sure, it could have gone for crazy violence and everything if it really wanted to, if it wanted to go for gang warfare or anything like that. I just put that in quotes. It could have gone that route. It didn't, though. It showed just how much of a struggle it is for anybody to just grow. I mean, and some people that seem like they have good intentions maybe really don't, and sometimes you need to learn to trust people. Inez has difficulty trusting people, even though there are people that do have her best interests at heart. And there's some other great performances. Josiah Cross as the 17-year-old version of Terry. This young man is going to get have a goddamn superstar ascent. If the studios are smart, they will bring him in for better, great projects. I mean, I'm not going to even say better projects. That's no disrespect to 1001. He's goddamn great. William Catlett, he's great as Lucky, a love interest of Inez. And their relationship is told, through great dialogue exchanges and the fact they knew each other. They're toxic for each other, but they do love each other at the same time. Delisa Reynolds, who's only in this for a bit, is great. They're a great cast top to bottom here. And it doesn't pull its punches, and it does have a whopper of a third act twist that honestly I probably should have seen coming from, a mile away. But I was so invested in the characters, I was caught off guard. And not caught off guard like, well, that doesn't make sense. No, it does make sense. I'll get into spoilers here in a little bit. But there are just so many great points to this movie that it's one that you absolutely have to watch. You absolutely have to fucking watch. Tremendously great performances by a gifted cast. If this is A.V. Rockwell's, just a small taste of what A.V. Rockwell can do as far as being given a feature-length, film to do, like, seriously, I'm fucking there for his next project. I'm fucking there for his next. Goddamn phenomenal. Great shit. Great writing. I mean, you could tell there was a lot of heart and soul put into this. And, so Terry Abney, who plays Kim, the friend, she has a supporting role. She's very good as well. There's a lot of great stuff here. A lot of great stuff. Tiana Taylor, William Catlett, and Josiah Cross are great. And don't get me wrong, the younger actors who play the younger incarnations of Terry are very good as well. But Josiah Cross is clearly the best. And the one that plays the 6-year-old version, he's very good too. But great. Again, I cannot begin to just encapsulate how great Tiana Taylor was in this. It's fucking phenomenal. And over the years, it becomes obvious that Terry's pretty smart. He's not sure what he wants to do with his life. And it's great. It's fucking great. Watch this. Absolutely watch this. Watch Waves also after you watch this and see how much you like that. Because this was daring. This was a daring project to do, and it was also really, really great. I mean, I'm not saying this is the only time subject matter like this has been tackled, but just the portrayal and the acting and the writing, it's great. It's absolutely great. Top 5 film of the year. If it's not top 5, or if it's not in my top 5, then it's going to be actually a pretty damn good year for movies. It might end up being my favorite film of the year, because we're just in the beginning of June. This is fucking great. I'm going to get into spoilers. It's on Peacock if you want to check it out. Again, great performances, great writing, all that. 3, 2, 1, and spoilers. Okay, so basically, Inez has Terry make up a name. So he's playing, he's Daryl. Lucky comes into their life. Lucky and Inez get married. There's some great stuff here. They get married, which you could kind of tell maybe wasn't going to go all that well, but it does for a bit. They do love each other, but it's obvious that they're toxic for each other. He promises to protect them both. Inez still has trust issues, all that. There's a bit of a side plot with, I believe, a young woman named Simone that Daryl happens to have a thing for, played by Alicia Pilgrim. And I'm not actually... They didn't flesh out her character enough. I was a bit disappointed with that. And I'm not knocking. I'm not saying that takes away from the movie. I almost felt like this movie could have been a little bit longer. But then again, it leaves you wanting more. It leaves you just loving what's happening here. The apartment complex in general starts to go into disarray. The landlord comes in to fix stuff, but every time something gets fixed, it gets broken, or something else gets broken. And he suggests, how about we gut this thing, redo it, move out for a bit, and come back. AKA, we want to bring in other people, and you're going to be moving out, and we're going to raise the rent and everything, but we're not going to tell you that until we end up doing it. And just it's just haunting. It's so goddamn haunting. So goddamn haunting just how accurate this is. How landlords can be. I mean, the guy playing the landlord's good too. Don't get me wrong. But she keeps having issues with trust. Lucky ends up getting sick, cancer, and Lucky also knows Inez's secret. So Terry's about to get into a good school. He's going to get a job as far as working with one of the school counselors, I believe. I forgot her exact job title. She was pretty good as well. And he gets his papers, social security number, birth certificate, all that. And it turns out those are not only phony, but they're not even good enough to get past that. And if he falsified college documents, that's a felony. And they get caught just before he turns 18. So now he's going to be a ward of the state. And then, in his panics, all this stuff, the apartment's falling into complete disarray. And the counselor and a social worker and a couple of police officers show up, wondering what Inez is. And they're not trying to grill Terry, not trying to do any of this stuff. But the whole thing in the beginning, after she gets out of jail, when she gets Terry, turns out that she's not his mother, not his biological mother. Just plucked him from foster care. So bad enough that she did that, plucking somebody from foster care, which is a felony, and you go to jail for. And now she took somebody else's kid. Now, granted, they were in foster care, but still, what if the foster parent came back around? There are so many questions about this, but she saw a lot of her in him and wanted to raise him right and wanted him to have a better life than she ever did. I mean, so she meant well, at the same time kind of proving kind of a little bit messed up. Absolutely messed up. And so Terry's just shattered. I mean, he has no idea. And this great scene between Teyana Taylor and Josiah Cross, great stuff of a young man that has his life completely uprooted, and a mother that is basically like, this is why I did what I did, this kind of stuff. And she wasn't cold about it, but she was also defensive about it. And he was naturally upset, and he even says, what's home for me now? And if you don't just want to literally leap in front of a car after this scene, I don't really know what to tell you. Don't do that, by the way. I'm not advocating for that. But good God, this is bleak and depressing. So the city continues to change. They go their separate ways. She seemingly leaves the area so she doesn't get caught. And now I assume he's going to go maybe live with Simone. He's going to, hopefully maybe be able to go to a college, do something. It leaves a lot of questions up in the air and proves that a lie can just manifest and grow and just splinter. And my goodness. It's fucking great. 1001 is great. Watch it. A+. Absolutely an A+. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rickland. I'll see you soon.